So I've been meaning to make this video for a while. I don't know why I haven't really. Every time I try to, I take it way too seriously. I'm like, oh my god, set the tripod, make a list, whatever. That sounds far less complicated than it is in my head, but. So the whole point of it is Miami versus LA, and kind of the main differences between both. I'm just kind of going off the cuff. I don't have any lists near me or tripod. You're literally on my nightstand, so maybe making it a little less formal will help me actually make the video. But anyway, so something LA is famous for, of course, is traffic. It's as bad as you think it is, or as bad as you hear at least. Um, yeah, there's always traffic. I always like to tell people 6 miles equates to 30 minutes. So that's kind of how you can gauge how long something is going to take you to get somewhere. 6 miles, 30 minutes, kind of a good rule of thumb. So if you're ever coming to LA, you really do have to account for traffic. It's nothing like you've seen in Miami. Yeah, I mean, you've seen like it. Um, Rush hour is comparable to Miami. The only difference is, for example, the 405 freeway, which is comparable to I 95 in Miami, it's always backed up. Like, always, always, always. Like, sorry, just got a text. Okay, got it. Okay, cool. Um, like, in Miami, the I 95 has, times where it's, a lot more clear and that you can actually, go 70 miles an hour, whereas the 405 at least in LA County, um, is kind of always crawling along at the very most. Um, like midday, if let's say you're going to LAX or something, you take the 10 to the 405, you're going along at 45 miles an hour, sure, but you're this close to the car in front of you, and you're all just kind of moving in unison. It's a really strange thing that I haven't really experienced till I moved to LA. Um, Could have sworn I heard someone knocking at my door. God, no, please. Another huge difference is the people. Not necessarily good or bad, just different. It's just big city folk in a different coast, essentially. In Miami, people are much more direct with you. They tell you what you want, go fuck yourself, basically. In LA, it's kind of about keeping the status quo, and even if you have something negative to say to someone, it's all about kind of saying what you have to say, but really softly. I guess what I'm trying to say is you have to be really shady to really get your point across. God, how can I come up with a good example? For example, my coworker, many of you know the infamous Greg, he's always saying stuff that's really indirect, but this is common among a lot of people here. Like, if he's playing music at his desk, he'll go to me, oh, is music too loud for you? Or something like that. And I'll be like, no, it's fine. When in reality, he wants to turn the music down. I know this sounds so ass backwards, and it kind of is, and it is to me, but it's it doesn't really make any sense. Like, people won't really ask for what they want directly, whereas in Miami they do. Um, People are, oh, Hispanic people. Yes, there are a lot here in LA. There are more in Miami. However, at least more of a, percentage of the population. But here it's a thing. People are from all over. There are a lot of white people, not to get racial, but it's just facts. And they're like, oh my god, are you Cubano? Are you Mexican? Which I'm not offended by the Mexican thing. I don't care. You can think I'm Mexican. It's the fact that it's being Latin or Hispanic is the thing. Oh my god, you're so exotic. So that's been a little different. Um, but yeah, hiking is really fun though. I didn't really get to do that in Florida at all. So that's kind of a blast, to be honest with you. A big push why I moved here, because I like to be outdoors. Whereas in Miami, anything that's not developed is just swamp. Um, the beaches are a lot nicer in Miami, I will say that. And on the Pacific coast, they're cold, dark. I'm talking about the water, cold and dark. And the sand is brown almost. They're okay. It's fun to play beach volleyball and stuff. I don't think the beaches are necessarily made for you know, going in the water. So there's that. There are far more homeless people in LA also. Um, Not as many as in Miami. No, I'm sorry, not as many homeless people as in Miami as there are in LA. Clarify that. Earthquakes are a thing. I've been through a couple. Um, the vast majority of them are small little events that last 5 seconds, and it's like a. I wonder if I can make this phone shake without it falling. Like a. And then it stops, and you're like, oh, that was an earthquake, and then your day kind of continues. To be honest with you, I wasn't that. I'm about to burp. Yeah. I wasn't that scared of the first one. I actually didn't know it was happening. I was like, wow, the construction next door is so loud. And they're like, that was an earthquake. I'm like, okay, should I duck and cover? And they're like, it's over now. I'm like, oh, okay. Yeah, so those are kind of the main differences that I think stick out to me. Yeah, that's pretty much it. All right, well, if you guys have any questions about, like, you know, Miami versus LA or East Coast versus West Coast, I find in general just the people are very different. That stands out to me the most, but that's always been something that stands out to me even between cities in Florida. So yeah, talk to you guys later.